So thank you everybody for joining us. This is the Shades Tale. This is a second edition Ironclaw game, and we're gonna go around and introduce our characters, and then do a quick recap, and then we're gonna get started playing. So why don't we start with Theta? Theta, tell us about your character today.
I am Dan, Lemur Brute, personality bold, motto I am the greatest. Goals I have written down are deliver Tess's letter to Half-Face Ludovico and help Mercurio recover his lost memory and stop Bartleby's dark ritual on Skull Island. Which,
Yeah.
if I'm not incorrect, is where we'll find Kong.
So technically it is Bird Skull Island, named after the shape of the island, but yes, it is still an island that is also named after a skull. So you're not wrong there. Okay, excellent. And next up we've got Arkloyd playing Connor.
Excuse me, yes, I am Arkloyd. I play Connor Lavera de Ekravis, the Brazen Raccoon Knight. His motto is one hand watches the other, and his three goals are to stop Bartleby's ritual on Bird Skull Island, to deliver Tess's letter to Half-Face Ludovico at the Bent Nail Tavern in Fermarouge, and to help Mercurio regain his memory.
All right, cool. And next we have Griffin playing the Doctor.
Yep, that's right. I'm playing the Doctor, the anonymous almoner. First do no harm, second get paid. And of course, I have everyone else's goals, just as they said. And I'm ready to go ahead and throw myself at what sounds like a fortress stuck on an island, which we will certainly single-handedly attack and prevail for, with absolutely no planning whatsoever. Let's go.
All right, that's what I like to hear. Okay, yep. So let's look at where we are on the map and look at what happened last week. You guys had joined back up with Bian, Bear Knight, and had met up with a new friend in Harmony, one gray fox named Mercurio, who seems to have lost his memory, but he seems like an amiable enough kind of guy, and when Colette asks him to join you and asks you guys to take him away from Harmony, he complies and you guys accepted. So he's sort of following you around. You get the sense that he's not much of a fighter, although he claims that he can handle a short sword. But so far he seems like he's a good-spirited sort. Eager to follow you into danger. Maybe not eager, but certainly not as hesitant as a sane person might be. Let's see. So you guys took your merry band to the site of one of the dark rituals that you found on the map that was given to you by the strange hairless hag creature. And when you got there, you guys fought the undead gorilla, right? That was covered in ticks. That was last session?
Yep, that was last session.
I don't know why I thought Dan was there, but yeah, okay. So yes, you guys found the test site of Onion-Eyed Datura's strange tick experiments, and you put an end to it. You destroyed the ritual site and consecrated the ground. And when going through Datura's things, you found more journals and more notes. Some of them seemed to suggest that there was another necromancer named Bartleby the Strange who is residing on Bird Skull Island in Lake Aube, and you can see we've sort of charted a path that goes into Lake Aube on the map. Yes, so you know that you're not sure about these other ritual sites, but you're fairly sure that there's a necromancer on this one, and Bian seems eager to kill as many necromancers as she can, and so she is urging you all to press on there. And I think it looks like, did you guys return back to Honette, or did we just not update where the marker was?
I think we just kind of didn't update it, but we're probably on our way back at this point. Because we ended with the fight last time in the small investigation.
So this over here was the original Necromancer, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
the
that
ones
seems
that
to
you
be the
guys
case.
found.
Yeah.
And what's
The
this
deer.
over here?
So
A completely other one.
Yeah, but why is it on the
yeah.
map?
Well,
Because we know it's there.
there's one here. There's one down here.
I didn't remember hearing that in the recap.
Over here.
All I know
there's
is this
over
one
here.
in the recap.
Right.
Yeah. So
Additional to all of it, hey, I went and did some research and I found out 100 years ago this all happened before, and then everyone forgot, and now we're dealing with it.
yeah.
So
you don't know
all of
anything
these
about
upside
these.
down pentagrams are necromancers.
They're the sites where there were necromantic rituals 100 years ago.
I mean,
That's as much as you know.
just pointedly, I don't see one in the swamp over here or in Triskellion.
Yeah.
I mean, we know a necromancer
Weird.
lived in the swamp, and we know that she's currently in Triskellion.
I think the swamp mentioned was specifically this one. This little area is a swamp.
No, I just mean that she lived in this swamp for a long time before she moved to Triskellion.
So it's
That's
as if
true.
someone went and struck it from the record so that no one would be suspicious of her.
Well, also remember,
Anyway.
this information is 100 years old. Unless Amelsand is 100 years old.
She looks
Which,
it.
she looks it. But there's no reason why. Although, also, these are not necessarily the only necromantic sites that have existed in Calabria or the only place where necromancers hang out. They just happen to be necromantic sites that were found by paladins of the Vortepois 100 years ago and presumably destroyed, although you've now found one of them that seems to be working again.
Well, man, it'd be real helpful if we were in contact with that entire order of people that hunts down and fights necromancers. Which is a real thing that exists in the setting.
You should seek them out.
We've sent someone on that task, even.
Oh, didn't hear that in the recap either.
Oh, right. Yeah, I also decided to tell Harmon's girlfriend to definitely go on her quest for revenge, but take a bunch of witch hunters with her, specifically so she can hunt witch hunters on the way, and use them as an excuse to help rescue Harmon.
Oh, sure, yeah, take the military personnel off of the front lines. That's a great idea. It's almost like you're working for the other side!
To be pointed, these were paladin orders who aren't fighting out on the front lines in the first place.
Oh yeah, surely a paladin wouldn't defend a town under siege from a ruthless foe, so that the innocents wouldn't get hurt.
That's going to be her story, not ours.
Yeah, it's happening in the background.
So let's all reroll characters for the Colette pilgrimage and see how it goes.
I was gonna say, it sounds like it would be pretty fun.
Yeah, let's do a side story for like 10 sessions, come back and go, so what were we doing with the main character?
I mean, you say that, but we're going to call it Ironclaw, Colette's Pilgrimage, and then we're immediately going to go off track.
Oh yeah, immediately.
I mean, what's the name of this campaign again?
Yep. Yeah, that's pretty...
and what is Silverhorn?
Silverhorn was the town. We can probably take it off the map now, but it was the town where you found the... where you fought the Crimson Pack, the scavengers.
Right. It's the small town we helped out.
Yeah. Probably not going to be that important going forward. It's really just a small town that is now also broke. Isn't there a... There's a way to search for free assets, right? There we go. Pentagram.
Yeah. Let's see. But we are traveling back to Honet. And probably by the time we get there, we should probably discuss, well, hey, what exactly are we going to do, Sir Connor? We're planning to head towards the lake, but notably, if it's an island, we might need a boat. And we did break down the cart last time to turn it into a raft, and I'm not quite sure we turned it back.
Oh, yeah. You have irregulars who did the heavy lifting, and you're like, okay, now turn it back into a wagon, and they're just like, shrug. I don't think we can do that.
Right, and I guess pointedly, the raft was a good solution for a shallow swamp wherein we just didn't want to get too wet or wade through it or fight in it. across a lake, that's probably not a great idea.
True. We might want a proper boat.
We could maybe stop at Moulin Aved up on the north end of it, and then row our way up into the lake.
True. That is a good plan.
I guess it just all depends on the money that we have then, huh?
Yeah, what are you guys packing right now in terms of disposable income?
Nothing.
I have 20 dinar left to me, and some of that
Hmm.
probably needs to be food eventually. In fact, I'm
I
gonna go
have
ahead and
no
buy
money.
some more now.
So yeah, apparently these are pentagrams. They're just not the evil pentagrams that I was thinking of. Well, the evil pentagrams are supposed to be the double sides on the top, because those are the horns, and then the bottom one pointing down is the chin.
Gotcha. I
As
don't
it
know
turns
much
out, a
about.
pentagram is just a geometric shape.
Right. But I mean, we see like the Church of Satan and things like that. That's horns up, chin down. Sign of the
I did
devil.
not know that.
Well, because
it makes some sense.
it's a common argument when you.
It's theirs specifically, is what we're saying. Not
So-
generic red circle. But let's see. So, what is the plan to get a boat then?
swim.
You are a noble. You could always just say it's my right and duty to do this for my own purposes. And take somebody's.
Well, I could leave it up to the host to have refilled my wealth while my armor was being sent, but that's up to him.
Yeah, I thought we did do that actually. So if you would like to
Yeah, you
have
did
your
refresh your
wealth
stuff.
refreshed, you may.
Yeah,
You could
'cause
use that to buy yourself a rowboat. 40 dinar worth.
And then we just ditch it forever.
You guys do have that kind of track record with your vehicles. Love them and
That
leave
is-
them.
That is true. They are now all over the place, quite literally.
Hmm.
Right. Well, I suppose we'll have to figure that out once we get there. But we do probably need to go to the city first in order to do so. That's only a day or two travel, so it's not too bad.
What city?
You headed to Moulin?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is Moulin a city?
I think it's a craftsman town. Details are sparse in the
Given
book.
that it's on the lake, there's bound to be at least a couple of communities around the lake that at least support themselves in part by fishing.
Yeah, by that.
Or there might be people who use this as a stop for various things coming down the river, because there's like Avec and a Sidhu up there in the north. They could probably like ship things down the river. It seems very convenient.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
seems like a military outpost.
That's also a possibility, but Craftsman Town sounds nice at the least. Someone here at least is probably willing to build a boat at some point.
Yeah,
You don't
there
live
is.
near the water and don't have a boat.
They live, yeah, exactly. They live on the river that leads to this major lake. So yes, and I'd have to imagine, being craftsmen, that yeah, they probably make a lot of boats here. They do have like a shipyard. Probably not super large boats, not like you would find around Harrogate, due to the fact that there's not that much forest in this area. It's mostly open plains, so they have to like probably ship their lumber down from Avec Bonte or
Mhm.
this area up here. But they do have boats for, well, they've got ferries that you can, rent, I guess, but then they also have rowboats and things that you can buy, fishermen's boats.
This probably might be a good time and place to actually ask the locals about Bird Skull Island.
Ooh,
given that
Okay.
they are actually locally adjacent to it. It's like, hey, I hear there's this island out there. What do you have to say about that?
That is a fair. That's a fair
Uh,
approach. That would be gossip.
Yeah, so
Or I say mind and gossip.
let's just throw some mind and gossip at it. Hey, it's a success.
All right, 1 success. Let me see what I can get you. Meanwhile, Connor, do you want to make another irregular roll since you're in a town now?
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Doctor, so when you ask around for Bird Skull Island, you see most people, a lot of people haven't really heard of it. Those that have are older and they remember that, many years ago now, it used to be the site of a small fishing village or whatever smaller than a village, like a town, like a hamlet, Hamlet,
Thorpe.
yeah, it was basically like a collection of houses, maybe a handful of families that used it as an outpost and would fish during the day. And occasionally they would, then actually not occasionally, I guess they would go to the mainland to sell their wares. But apparently it has become a ghost town. They just could not support themselves. The money ran out. The families abandoned the place. And as far as anyone knows, it's been unoccupied for at least 5 or 6 years.
Mm-hmm. All right, so nobody's actually been out there for a while then. In terms of boatage, then we could either A, get our own, or B, is someone willing to actually ferry us out to this island where obviously nobody is?
I mean, yeah, you could pay a ferryman if you'd like. Looking at the services
cheaper.
thing, that would be slightly cheaper. But purchasing your own boat is 40 dinar worth. But I do believe.
Well, thankfully, the
River
ferryman
ferry.
only charges you 2 coins.
Yeah, this is not really a river ferry, but I think it kind of is because you're
One
going
for
down a
each
river
eye.
anyway. There you go. Well, you're not far off.
Mhm.
It's 1 dinar a league. So we're talking about basically like 1.5 league. So we'll round up 2 dinar.
He
Denari.
says, just call me Sharon.
I guess if you guys intend to come back from Bird Skull Island, that would be 4 denarii for the full round trip.
Right, or maybe even get dropped off on the opposite side of the lake and continue down to Chalons or Saldre, but we'll talk
Right.
about that in a bit. We'll still pay for and get dropped off somewhere around the lake.
Okay. The ferryman. Let's see, who's the ferryman? Pull up my random generator.
Pretty sure the captain is always the first one to die in any trip to Skull Island.
Yeah. Okay.
And Sir Connor, you have at least 3 people with you. Or 4, I think, actually, right?
4.
4.
So who are we bringing along this time? There might be a small fort in which you might have to lay siege and attack. How are you going to do this?
Well, now that I could get some militiamen so we can build some trebuchet and whatnot.
But what about the reporter? You need one of them to be a reporter. One of them has to be the person who secretly believes that there's giants living on the island. And then we need the plucky comic rogue who will somehow make it to the end of the movie, only to sacrifice themselves in a completely meaningful but well-reasoned story arc.
I thought that was Dan's character arc.
I'm not plucky.
But meanwhile, I have to be like the crotchety old mentor who's like, you never should have come here.
So while you're
that was
deciding that,
our horror story tropes.
it's that time of the year, right? So while you're figuring out your irregulars there, Connor, I'll introduce you to the ferryman. He is a dole. He seems to be probably pushing the end of his ferrying career. He's a little bit on the older side. He's seen a lot of things in Lake Aube, and he is willing to take you. But when you say that your destination is a stop off at Birdskull Island, he just gives you like a glinty sort of stare, and then he says, "That'll cost you an additional 10 denarii." That's 14 total by my reckoning.
You willing to pay such outlandish prices, Sir Connor?
Well, it would seem I have little choice. We wish to reach the island.
All right. We set off at your convenience, sir, and he gives Sir Connor a deep bow. But I caution we do not tarry there for long, and press on to whatever far shores, perhaps the fair city of Suldra.
Then I suppose let's be off and see what awaits us there.
All right. Let's see. I'm trying to think what time of the day you guys are setting off during. Probably daytime if our captain is he's basically a dog, not known for their night vision. So, yes, you guys will set off during daylight hours, and after several hours of travel, you can see you are now out of the river channel. You are in Lake Aube, and you can see that this large expanse of water, it almost resembles an ocean, if not that you could see the far shores of it, which you can in most directions. You can also see that the lake itself is dotted with multiple small islands popping up here and there. Some of them are quite clearly occupied or inhabited, and you can see that there are birds flying, making aerial journeys from one to the next. You can see ships bobbing here and there, probably fishermen vessels. Some of them are rather large. But then after the probably your second or third hour, you can hear your captain say, "Land ho!" And he points in the distance, and you can see the sort of strangely shaped island in the distance. It has one side of it is a craggy, I wouldn't go so far as to say it a mountain, but a steep, sharp hill that rises up, but the rest of it looks to be kind of like lowland, barely jutting out from the shallow waves. And from this distance, you can make out that it seems like a very dour and swampy place, not some place that has been inhabited by people. You think you can make out the remnants of dead trees and possibly the remains of buildings, and probably also like one ship, one like sad half-sunken ship bobbing in a long abandoned dock. Does anyone have spot as their species sense?
Good question. I have listen and smell.
I've got spot.
Leo probably
Okay.
does as a wolf, I think.
All right. Well, Dan and Lael, if you'd like, you can give me observation rolls, wits and observation.
They have listen and smell, not eyes. Dang.
No eyes, no. And because of the lake's water and basically the smell and sound of it, it's not going to be helpful. But if you have sharp eyes, you might be able to spot this. So, Dan, if you'd like to give me wits and observation, you may do that.
I'm sorry, did you say wits?
Yeah.
I did because I've been playing. No, wits. Wits is good. Should be wits.
Keep your wits
Sure,
about you.
I'll roll wits.
I'm getting messed up.
Roll that D4.
It is
I rolled a
vampire.
0 because wits
It is
isn't a
vampire.
thing.
Wits is not a thing. Shit.
Well,
I guess it would be mind and observation, right? It's just not really like.
normally
a
it's
thing.
mine. Normally it's
Yeah.
mine.
So mind and observation.
Does danger sense apply?
Not in this case. You're not in any imminent danger.
Well, doesn't help.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you see as I described it, it just looks like a place that no one would really want to be. And as you pull up to the docks, you think that you can hear a signal horn, kind of a long, low horn blaring from what appears to be the top of this sort of mountainous part of the island itself.
Oh, cool. I could use a throat mint.
Yeah, and the ship captain looks around. He is visibly nervous now, and he says, "This is a ill omen. I don't believe I can stay. Are you sure you wish to continue on in this fool's errand?"
Well, we are fools, and it is one we must complete.
Our needs are great.
You can stay on the
Alright.
water if you want, and we'll try to signal you. You can stay safe.
Ooh, okay. He likes that. He likes that approach. I think he's you can see that he's debating with himself whether or not he should just kind of leave you guys here or if he should charge you more money. But he definitely is getting the willies from this island, and you don't blame him. It's a willy-inducing island. But yes, if you suggest that he can hang out maybe a quarter league off the shore and just keep an eye on you from there, do you have a signal in mind that you're thinking you can give him?
Yeah. I'll light a small fire and I'll wave it back and forth.
Okay, from the landing area. He says, "Very well, but I'll warn you, I'm not going to stay past nightfall. These waters are cursed. This island is a dangerous place, and if I don't see your signal by the time the sun falls, then I'll be shipping off. I'll tell your story."
Very well, then. We'll try to signal you before then.
I mean, it is a hallmark of any horror movie that when we leave the boat guy out and by the boat by himself as we go into an expedition, he's going to get murdered by himself. Someone's going to crawl up into the boat, and he's going to be looking in a different direction, and he's just going to kill him. And then we're going to come rushing back to shore as we're getting overwhelmed on the land, and we're not going to be able to spot him anywhere because he's actually dead.
Jason's here. We need to put more fuel in the boat. The rowboat.
No, I was
Yep.
thinking more of any Holocaust movies are
Halloween.
named that. No, it's not Cannibal Holocaust or what's the one where the doctors in New York go to the cannibal island to figure out why there's a cannibal murdering in their hospital.
No idea about that one.
It's a common theme in zombie and cannibal movies that
Mhm.
your boat guy gets killed while you're expeditioning on the cannibal/zombie island.
Oh, right. In horror movie trope, the person who is alone gets killed, especially the nobody, no name who was just there to demonstrate, yes, it's a scary thing that could kill you instantly.
I mean, it didn't have to be a nobody, no name. It's just they are on the boat by themselves, circling an island, waiting for the rest of the party to come back.
Yep. Still, we have landed.
You have landed.
So let's see what we see.
You see the remains of a boathouse and a dock that barely holds your weight. It's falling apart under you as you guys clamber onto the island. But you can see that there is a boat that actually looks rather new that has been tied up to one corner of this dock. Not visible from where you were out in sea, but when you see the boat, you can see that it looks like it's fairly well constructed, and that it has several crates and barrels still sitting in it, covered with a tarp.
Right. This makes sense. If someone's living on this island alone and no one else is here, they probably had to go out and get supplies at some point. I'll go up to the barrels. I'll pull up the tarp. I'll look inside. It's probably a bunch of food.
So you do find some salted salted meats, I was gonna say, but actually that I don't think makes sense given who's here. So you find some rations, basically. They're herbivore rations, and you also find, oddly
Salted
enough,
broccoli.
disgusting. Yeah.
I
So
think you'll
the
find that
other thing,
actually broccoli does taste better if you salt. With a little salt.
oh no, totally.
Everything tastes better with salt.
This is like long-lasting broccoli though, so it's like broccoli jerky, sliced thin and dried in the sun.
Broccoli chicken.
Is this tied to the dock?
Yeah, it's tied up to the dock. And the other probably noteworthy and strange thing you find is a small cask of what you're pretty sure is gunpowder.
Gunpowder. Now that is very interesting. Why would he be
Probably
bringing gunpowder?
Because he has a gun.
And you say this is a cask of gunpowder. This isn't like one person amount of gunpowder.
Correct. This is enough gunpowder to load many guns. This is probably less than the wolf pack was transporting from Harrogate, but still more than like a single person would be using.
Probably
the
enough to
weapon.
blow up something if we really wanted to.
Probably.
Now, if I recall from what I was hearing, there should be a small fort on the island that used to be defended. So if we explore around, we could see what happens to be defending it, and, well, we should be wary of gunpowder.
I'm not sure where you got the fort idea from.
I think last time you said that there used to be people who were protecting the island, and we even assumed that, the people who were protecting it maybe are controlled now or something.
I think the problem there is you just
Maybe
used
that
the
was a
word.
bunch of details that have changed since then.
You just used the
It's
word
possible.
assumed.
Yeah. It's possible that it's details that I forgot, honestly. But
Mhm.
now that you're here, this does not look like an island that would be of any value or reasonable to fortify given the size of it. So yeah, so now that you're here, you don't see anything that looks like the walls of a fort, or you see kind of like a gross swamp with a bunch of old dead trees, and you think that like once you get a little bit away from the shoreline, up an incline somewhat, that you'll get to where you will find this fishing village or what was left of it.
Oh wait, by the way, before we move on too far, I untie the rope and I kick the boat off.
Oh, okay, cool.
We should probably keep that around for ourselves just in case.
Well, we can pick it up later when our boat guy comes back. I don't want whoever we're coming after on this island to make an escape on a functioning boat.
Well, let's see what happens then.
Right, like I said, I untie the boat and I kick it off.
Nice. Yep. It drifts off, being carried by the current
The
or
gunpowder.
tide or whatever. There's really none of that
The
applies to a lake.
broccoli.
It just bobs away.
I'll just go ahead and nibble this broccoli I have now, and let's go ahead and let's head towards the fishing village. That seems like the best place to start, don't you think?
I do think. Well, but I'm not there.
Anonymous said to God.
Well, I was trying to say it to you two. But if you guys aren't complaining, let's go.
Okay.
Let's start hiking.
Well, I
Begin
mean,
your-
to the fishing village or towards the source of the horn sound that we heard that announced us?
It's another option. That's up a hill. It looks like it could be hiked up as well.
As I understand it, one of us is real good at hiking.
That is true. That is true. What do you think, Sir Connor? You have the small army with you.
Yes.
All right, if I'm good at hiking.
Well, a few of them are.
You like to go straight towards the sound, or would you like to go towards the village and clear it out to make sure that nothing is there?
I really like how Griffin is not too subtle about which one he wants to go with. How about the one that I've given 5 words to, or the one that I've given 3 sentences to? How about do you want to go towards the person who clearly saw us land on the dock, announced us to whoever else is on the
Let
island,
Sir Connor make his
hey,
decision.
you got to make your 5 sentences, you shut the fuck up. Or do you want to go to the fishing village, which looks nondescript and who cares?
And there's probably nobody in it besides ambushers, so let's go check out the source of the noise first.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you guys hike up this hill. The ground here is soft and muddy, but as you climb to the top of this hill, it starts to get a little more firm and rocky, and you make it up. You're now on the highest point on the island. You don't see anyone in evidence up here, though. You can, if you look around from the top of this hill, you can get a good view of the rest of the island. You can see clearly where the village is or was, and it does look like there are. Well, you do see what you think is a fire. It's a tiny, small plume of smoke that's probably from like a campfire or maybe a chimney down there among the village.
No signs
There
of
is
a horn.
habitation.
No signs of a horn. You guys could use, if someone wants to track or use searching, you could look for tracks or
Let's
clues.
do it. Hey, Lael, you're the tracker. Let's go ahead and do it. So tracking would be searching, I would suppose.
Yeah, searching. Mind and searching. Hold on. Yeah. And if you have the tracking gift, which I feel like Lael does as a wolf, I assume that's a D12?
Lael certainly does.
Nice.
So this is Lael's attempt with 2 success, and I will assist for a road for a D8. Because I do
Alright.
have plenty of searching dice. I don't help, though, so Lael gets 2 successes on his own.
Okay, so Lael puts nose to the ground and sniffs around, and here's what he comes up with. Apparently, he says that he smells death. This is the first thing that comes to his nostrils. He says, this whole place reeks of it, but it was definitely a smell that was clinging to whoever was up here. He sniffs around some more, and he says, I also smell a fox. It was definitely a fox. And he finds certain few disturbances in the soft earth that probably anyone would overlook. But Layla's convinced that these are signs that this fox had trekked down from its watch position on this hill down into the fishing village, the valley.
I think that seems to check out. I suppose he was watching for things. So perhaps our man here is not entirely alone amongst the living. I doubt he set the undead to do this.
We'll hear from the highest vantage point on the entire island. Is there nothing else that seems to stand out looking down at the island?
If you want to use your monkey eyes to try to spot something, you could with mind and observation. But I think everything that I said is what's pretty much obvious.
Why
you do
I have monkey
smoke
eyes?
Because you're a monkey.
I'm not a monkey.
I'm sorry. Maybe I'm being specious here. You're a lemur, which is like a monkey.
Well, if I was a monkey, why would I not be playing a monkey and not a lemur?
I guess that's fair. You're a common... a monkey is like a common monkey in the same way that the cats in the book are common cats.
Silence, primate. But yeah, so we see the fire at the very least, and we know that there's at least a fox here.
Can the fox be followed? Or their route that they took?
Lael gives you a sharp nod, and he points towards what looks like it could be a path down the hill into the village.
All right, time to follow the path.
Cool. All right. You guys follow the path. The earth here is a little more firm, and so you don't have to worry so much about tripping and falling into the mud or the muck that seems to cover this place. You are now down among the dead trees of this on this island, and you are approaching the ruins of the small hovels that used to house fishermen. And now you can make out in the distance the disturbing effigies that you saw back in the Hope's Hollow, the other swamp. You can make them out quite clearly. Once again, they are strange scarecrow-like figures. Each one is adorned with the skull of a different animal, and they are laid out in a pattern that you recognize now as the 5 points of a pentagram. At this range too, you can see that there are torches that have been arranged around this circle as well, and you think you can make out figures in the distance. One of them is short and squat and round, and it seems to be wearing black robes, and it is fussing over two other taller creatures that stand there swaying gently, looking like they're about to fall over. You can't tell exactly what this robed figure is doing, but it's a safe bet that it involves zombies.
Fair assumption. And welcome aboard, Rafferty. We probably want to
Hey.
catch you up real quick. We went up towards the lake. We hired a boat. We went to the island. There was a strange horn sound. We found the guy's boat, which had some gunpowder on it, of all things. And we've just probably spotted the person responsible themselves.
Did it have the maker's mark of the K Club on it?
No, it's not the real authentic deal. There's no K Club.
I almost feel sorry for those guys. So,
But
more
they did have
necromancy.
broccoli jerky.
At least we rented a boat.
At least we rented a boat. That may or may not leave without us after we push out the other boat. We'll just be stranded, that's all.
Well,
I've
it's
gone
just
ahead and just
we.
thrown myself on the map. I don't know where you want us.
That was actually where I was thinking, so you're good. If people want to join the doctor, that's a good spot for you.
Didn't realize you changed maps.
Sorry, did I? Oh, yeah. There we go.
Since I'm doing the backup stuff, I didn't. So when you change maps, I don't automatically change maps.
Right, that's right, because GM privileges.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we just got to set up like all the characters that are going to be here, including the militia.
Yep, you need one. Yeah, sorry. So this is going to take a minute.
Connor just forms ranks, and so do they.
Yep. You need BN. Here we go. So
We do have the advantage, so I don't see why Connor would do anything other than press forward.
controlled by everybody. Okay, and we're just going to duplicate this a bunch of times. So, all right. So Connor, how many irregulars do you need? How many combatants do you have?
Let me take a look. 4. Plus Potter.
Okay. And you need one for Potter. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh. And I'll add Potter. And if you want to give these guys names, you can. Potter. Save. Boom. Okay.
There you go. Form your ranks as you wish.
Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? For my own OCD?
You know, you can select them all at once. Is the button.
Oh, yeah. You want to give them
Ooh.
random names?
Oh, that's what
Totally
you were
forgot
doing.
you could do that. I was going to name them irregulars because I totally forgot that you could do that, but yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I specifically coded it so you could select a whole bunch of tokens at once and name them all at once.
Nice. Although it looks like I assume Ark has names for these guys.
I want to know who to blame for Rotten Crotch Anders.
That was me.
Look,
Cool.
the only person to blame for Ron Crotch Andrews is himself.
That is maybe the worst. That is the worst name.
Oh, it positively is the worst thing.
Like, imagine being
But
labeled
it's
that.
on our side.
I can't. If someone came up to you, it was just like, "Ha, we're gonna call you Rotten Crotch."
Imagine him saving the day. Ah, I've never been happier to see you, Ron Crotch.
Ugh. The sight of your rotten crotch cresting the hill, I shall never forget.
Well, I can imagine why. 'Cause it's better than the old nickname.
It's better than the old nickname. It was Robin Hood Men in Tights, Latrine, and he's like, "You changed your name to Latrine?" And she's like, "Yeah, it used to be Shithouse." Let's see here. All right.
We actually have a Claude the Bastard.
Claude the Bastard. Oh, he's a really nice guy, though. That's the irony of it.
Well, that just means they have no
I know.
cross.
Yeah.
You know, that since you're not primogeniture or not part of the family. But yeah, just a reminder: the Ironclaw random name generator. If it has an adjective in front of them, it's almost always negative.
Oh, I made these names up
Indeed.
myself.
Wow.
You're not being followed by the 7 most evil men in the kingdom, are you?
No.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's a Blackadder joke for us Blackadder fans.
Which season was that?
1.
Oh, the worst season. Got it.
If it's got John the Bastard.
Yeah, but the show got better like the further on it went.
I have a fondness for this season. It does get better, but I have a fondness for that. Especially John the Bastard.
Oh, is that the guy played by shit? The guy who's loud all the time. The guy I can't remember his name all of a sudden.
Oh, I don't.
The guy who plays Henry V in like all the movies and
No. I've lost all my cred, but no. Wow, we actually have an army this time.
We have quite a lot of irregulars, yeah.
And Beyond's still with us. All right. Well, but
Yep.
we're going to be done with this in like 5 minutes.
Let's see.
Brian Blessed. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, he plays the king in season 1.
Yeah, King Richard.
Yeah, who could guess that a bunch of small independent wizards recently new in their power with no associates to help them out could happen to be surprised by like a handful of militiamen coming up upon them? Who could have guessed?
Well, one of them is apparently knighted, so that's not exactly militiamen.
Oh, huh. Yeah, you might be right.
I'm going to let every one of my dudes roach.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. These guys were alerted to your presence. They were expecting you. So,
Yeah,
Well,
given the horn that sounded.
Plus, you said this was up on a hill, right?
you were up on a hill. You are now descending down into the lowland, which is
Yeah, they
swampy.
would have seen it.
Yeah. There's no fox in evidence here. There is this like short hunched figure, and as you guys approach, he turns to you. He's got a pointy snout. He's a vole. And he turns to look at you, and he says, visitors, perfect. No, this is perfect. And he gives one of the zombie that he's standing next to like a little like slap on the back, and he says, go now, and he kind of is like watching in excitement for what's going to happen next, and these zombies are going to begin to shamble at you all.
Yeah. He's starting a fight.
Yeah, he's starting a fight. So these, and I'll remind you guys that, and this probably affects the doctor more than anyone, but the ground around you kind of gives you a nauseous, sickening feeling in your stomach. This is the same unholy energy that you have felt, and you know that it's going to mess with your white magic. So
Yeah,
keep
reduce
that
the
in
D8s,
mind.
I believe, right?
Exactly.
Or was it even lower?
I think it's D6s. If you destroy a number of the scarecrows, then that goes to D8s. But once they're all destroyed, then you can, then you no longer
Right.
have that penalty, and the ground cannot be consecrated until this
Yeah.
ritual is destroyed.
Does
Makes
that also
sense.
mean that 666 rule is in effect?
666 rule. Yes. If we roll, well, it's really only for my guys when they're casting dark magic. But you roll
No,
three
it should be
sixes.
for all of us. Screw
Yeah,
us.
any-
Necromancer's
Should it be for
terrible.
everyone?
Well,
Anything with the unholy tag.
I thought it was
Yeah.
anything. Just anything with 666 around here could fuck us all up.
Is that what the 666 refers to? Because I like that idea. If you're
Oh, yeah,
like
if-
in
if-
unholy ground, anything could
something's
happen.
Unholy
place
or
is cursed.
cursed. 666 is an excuse for an event. Remember, the power from without is we're constantly surrounded by necromantic forces. They're just looking for an in.
Gotcha.
And this is where they all are, there's a bunch of evil spirits hanging around here, probably.
Oh, they're
So-
piercing the veil. They're piercing the veil.
Oh, wait, I see an
No.
evil spirit right now. It's shambling towards us.
That's just
Basically,
rotten
yeah.
crotch Anders.
So,
He has to walk that way.
Damn it.
we've all formed up, and he's slapped his boys and got them ready to go. So the question
Yes.
is, who's going to go first?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go first. This guy was waiting for you,
Okay.
and as soon as you guys appear, he's sending his zombies out after you. So luckily they're zombies, so they're not gonna move very fast. They've got a dash of 4 total.
In
And they're
that
gonna roll.
case, I will actually
Yeah.
choose to roll initiative in the case of I wonder if I can get a focus. I do. That's all I need.
Okay, I'm gonna roll this D4 for everybody's sprint to make it easy. That's not so bad. That's pretty good actually. So let's see. Can I move them all together? Okay, so I got a 3, which means that's 4 meters plus their dash, which is going to be another 4, so that'll be 8 meters. Brains. All right. Meanwhile, our friend Bartleby is going to take a step back. And he's going to begin casting something. He's readying an unholy weapon into his rod.
Yep. As
All
he
right.
should.
I mean, all he's got to
Um,
do is walk through the entrance to the cathedral in Triskellion, and he'll be forgiven for all of his sins.
Convenient.
a
Quick
loophole.
question. Is there any reason why zombies couldn't be focused?
They can still focus. You can stride and focus. It's when they go berserk that they won't be able to do it anymore.
Got it. No, I'm just saying because if they're laying ambush for you, they should start focused, which means
Yeah.
that I would like them to guard as well. And that's it for my
Well,
turn.
you can't focus and guard. Pick one.
Well, no, I mean like they would have started focused at the beginning of their turn.
You're
You
not
see what I'm saying?
you're not focused, Anushka, are you?
I will interrupt their attempt to focus
Is it our
with my
turn?
readying a weapon.
Well, I just see that you only rolled 1. That's like you have a blue dot on you, though.
I thought it was our turn. Is it our turn?
It will be
It's
now.
not yet. Yeah, it's
Or-
about to be. I want to know if these guys
Alright.
can move, can sprint, dash, and guard if they start the fight focused.
If you started focused, you could take 3 actions. You could dash,
Right.
sprint, and guard.
Okay, cool. So these guys are guarding. All right, now you guys may go. It is your turn.
All right. Now I will stride and focus. I'm done.
Okay. Bian is going to shout, death to the heretics. And yeah, she wants to get in the action.
All right, rushes out to glory.
Yep. I didn't roll initiative for her. Let's
She
see.
probably just has her weapon ready
Just readied. Yeah, so she's
Alright.
gonna
to change.
garden run. Let me get her stat block up.
Probably at least 12.
20. 20 run.
Oh, that's actually a pretty good run.
Huh. Yep.
All the way up to that tree. I guess the
Basically,
question
yeah.
is this going to be a blockage? Probably.
Yeah, that's interesting. It could provide cover, perhaps. You'll have to walk around it. So yeah, but she's charging. Who's next?
This might take me a little while. I'm just gonna have every one of my guys guard and run.
Right.
Okay.
You could select them as a group and move them all together in formation, and they don't have to change anything.
Well, I have to do Potter and Connor separately because they all have different move rates.
Yeah, that's true. But at least the mass of them can move.
Potter, let me see what his movement is. My turn's done. You can have someone else go while I take care of my looking at the sheet back and forth bullshit.
Okay.
Bigger map than I thought.
I know. I wanted to scale it down, so or scale it. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I guarded, I dashed, and I ran, and I got that far.
Oh,
Yup. But hey, at least now the map doesn't have to be like incredibly tiny.
yeah. Okay. That looks like it was everybody.
Yep.
At the same time, I am the size of 3 men.
I know.
As you should be.
Well, I mean, tokens are normally 1 meter across.
I also guard and run, and pointedly, I'm slower than everyone else.
Okay. These zombies are also going to guard and not run, but shamble. Oh. I moved my scarecrow and not my zombie.
Yep, that's what you get for having them in the same layer.
I know, right? Well, I can move those when you guys are going. So, all right. And our boy Bartleby has readied his spell. So, I think it's time to start doing some horrific, terrible things. Bartleby, what are you up to? Okay. All right. Bartleby is going to let's see. You guys are all kind of collecting behind cover. Dan is not, so he's going to target Dan. He's going to raise this wand, and this unholy magic spell is going to leap from the end of it towards you, Dan. The spell is called Torment. It is going to be... Actually, I think it's just dodged based on my notes, but let me look it up. Page
He is at
316.
31 meters. He could probably stride and get a medium. Is it a medium range spell?
It is. I mean, I assume it's just a normal magic spell, so medium is the range. But yeah, if he's out of it, I didn't even think to check. But he's probably at the edge of the range. I mean, 30. Yeah, 32. Yeah. He is at the feathery edge of medium range.
Yeah. Well, medium's 36, so you're fine.
Oh, okay.
And Torment is also resisted with mind and supernatural.